So hello everyone, this lab is about applying Axon framework on vacation managing system based on microservices. And this model over here is an event stream model we made for the vacation managing system in a random company based on this scenario. So this staff will check their schedule and register their vacation plans, and then the manager will approve or cancel it. And when the employee joins the group, they will get the registration on vacation system. The Spring Boot template we used before remains in Kafka history, but not in aggregate over here. But on the other hand, the Axon template doesn't have a separate database, and it is based on event sourcing, so it has all the histories automatically saved when we declare an aggregate, such as vacation, vacation days left, calendar over here, employee, and so here's how it keeps a record. Even if there are events outside that are not of interest, all the events whose purpose is to change the status will be published. And so when you look at the vacation aggregate, it contains information on application, approval, cancellation, and rejection, all of them. And this vacation days left aggregate remains all the history of how the vacation was used for a single user. And this is a feature automatically supported by the Axon framework we're using in this model. And in the process, we should always make a current status by a read model, vacation status, vacation days left, calendar searching, find the user by an ID, employee ID. So all these read models will work on this model by applying the Axon framework. Because the Axon framework does not provide API that shows the late status of aggregate to retrieve the value, and the read model must be created according to the CQRS policy. So when creating a UI for every view, a read model must be included for each aggregate. These read models could be ignored in general event stream model, but when using an Axon framework to implement the code source codes, every element of event storming should be included. So when we follow the instruction, we first have to fork this example model to our own one. So I'll click fork and put the date of today as March 9th today. So fork it. So as you can see, we can save our own model to modify, and we can change the code templates. So let's look at the codes. As a default value, our source code template is set to Spring Boot, so we'll change it into Axon. Then all our microservices are changed into Axon files. If you look at the aggregate, we have made the aggregate source codes. So I'll push this one to my GitHub repository. I'll change the name as the same here. Create new one. So when it's done, we can get access to the Gitpod IDE. So when the Gitpod IDE is up, there are some commands running. It is based on init.shell file here. Now the Axon server is up, and our port number over here is running. So let's look at the instruction now. I'll just make it bigger to see properly. And our next step is the modifying some codes. to run the system. So let's get access to the vacation aggregate.java file. Control P if you are using Windows PC and Command P for Mac. Search the file. Now we're in vacation aggregate.java file. So the first thing we need to do over here is modifying the codes from vacation aggregate.java file. As you can see, we have to combine the approved and rejected events and throw some exception for vacations that are already used. So I'll copy this code and paste it in this part, command handler. Select all of them, then paste it. So then when you check the code, it has an if sentence. If used is the status of the vacation system, then throw new illegal state exception and make a message that says it is already used vacation. And we have checked that if approved, then make a vacation approved event, and else we have to bring vacation rejected event. Our next step is modifying the code from event sourcing handler part. So we have to change the status value according to the result of each event. Copy this one and move on to event sourcing handler part. Select all of them, then paste it. As you can see, we have set status into each events. For cancel event, status becomes to cancelled. Approved event, approved, such as that. And our next step is moving on to policy handler.java file. So copy this one and find the file. There are 3 policy handlers and we are still working on vacation part. So I'll click this one, vacation. And then we have to check each event and change it into this logic. We will set user ID and date count by bringing the values from the event for registered, cancelled, and so on. So I'll copy this one and modify the register value, modify the register event like this. Then copy cancel event part, replace it, rejected event, and this is a little bit different for employee joined event. Copy this one and replace over here. So as you can see, all this setting date count for the command over here, it's getting the value from each events. But when the employee is firstly registered, we will set the date count for the first time and make it into 10. And we need another business logic in the constructor part for vacation aggregate.java file. I'll copy this one, move on to vacation aggregate, and move on to vacation aggregate constructor part and replace it like this. So when there are no user ID or day value, then it will throw a illegal argument exception. So when this vacation aggregate is created, the initial value from the command is coming from the event which is published. So the value of the final state must be in the event instead of copying the contents from the command. So look at this code. It says we will copy the properties from command and event, but we have to exchange it into this. So I'll copy all these code blocks and replace it from here to here. For the constructor part, it needs to copy the properties from the initial comment, but afterwards we need to put this one. We need to put this to get the current status of the vacation system. And now let's move on to vacation days left aggregate.java file. So I'll find the file and replace the codes, copy this one, add the event sourcing handler part, replace it, and this is the same as we've done on vacation aggregate. It copies the properties from event and this, the current status. So we're all done with the code modification. So our next step is running the debugging test. So first we will go into the infra folder and rerun the Docker service. So I'll just copy this one and paste it here. The Docker server is removed, and then we will put Docker Compose up again to rerun the server. And then I'll right click on this vacation application.java file and click debug Java. If you click on it, the Spring server is running up, and when the process is done, as you can see, the port number 8081 is up now. So then our next step is finding the database, which is in MySQL. So I'll copy this command and open a new terminal and put it in. So we are now in MySQL server, and we will check the database list by putting in shell databases. And as you can see, there are 5 rows of databases, and we have vacation DB. So we'll move on to vacation DB to check the table list, which is inside it. Now the database name is changed, so we can take a look at the vacation DB. Our next command is show tables. It will show all the tables which is included in vacation DB. As you can see, there are 12 rows in the set, and you can see the token entry here. So let's take a look at it. This is kind of SQL grammar. Select everything from token entry, so it gets all information inside it. Copy it and paste it over here. And as you can see here, there are segment information, timestamp, token name. So in this way, you can check all the database information which is running from the vacation system we made. And when we've done with debugging tests, we will run the API to actually run the system of managing the vacation. So first, we will move on to another terminal and copy this one. We'll move on to Common API folder over here because it contains all of the command, event, query information. So we'll install Maven first. Build is succeeded. And before the test, we will set some breakpoints over here. Like, we'll move on to policy handler and put breakpoint over here on the system out println part. And then move on to vacation days aggregate.java file. And then I'll move on to vacation days left. I'll get the Java file and move on to the command handler part and on the constructor part, and I'll just put this breakpoint here and on line number 75. As we put the breakpoint on vacation days initialized event, it needs another one here. Right after that, I will open another terminal from employee, right click on it, open in integrated terminal. And then here's the command of running the Maven Spring service, mvn spring boot run. Now the Spring server for employee service is coming up. It is on port number 8083. So let's check. I will add a new employee information in our server on the bash. So we have new employee with the user ID name test user. And as you can see on the command which gets the event, it still contains the user ID test user. Move to the next step, and our new event is still getting the user ID test user. So when you look at the terminal, we have a new employee information with user ID we have added. And for the user we added before, we will put the vacation days information by this command. So I'll copy this command and paste it here. So as you can see, we can check all the approval, cancellation, confirm, and so on. And we have the day information of 10. And as you can see, we have its own ID for the vacation. So if you want to check the vacation information for each employee, you can just say http 8081/vacations/ID over here /events. If you choose events to inquire, then it shows all the events which has happened for this employee's vacation system. Let's check it. Then, as you can see, there's only vacation registered event has happened. And let's check if we can approve this vacation as a manager. So let's take the previous command and change it into approve. As you can see on the model here, we have set the approval into a Boolean value, and our put method is included here. So we can make it as a command like http put port number and approval. So put, you set the Boolean value into true, so I'll say approve equal true. It's done well. So if you check the event once more, you can see the vacation approve event is added on the history. Just as the same, you can just check all the events like cancel or confirm. Now the cancel event has happened, and if you check the log, Now the vacation cancelled event is added now. So this was the example of applying Axon framework into microservice system about vacation managing system. The main theme is that we need all these read models for each aggregate, and every policies and command and events are getting their own values and share it to make a fine microservice system. This was a small example, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the video for today introducing Axon framework applied on our microservice designing system, MSA Easy. I'll add some link underneath the video, so if you guys want to check out how to apply the Axon framework on your own microservice system, maybe you can have a little practice on our website. Thank you for watching.